If you are on the market for a new luxury SUV this year, you've probably noticed that there are a lot of options available. As the high-end SUV market continues to grow, premium car manufacturers are up in their game with new models to satisfy every lifestyle. But not all premium SUVs are created equal, and finding the one that's right for you can be challenging. Because the market is rapidly evolving, some brands offer far more value than others. The luxury brands that started building SUVs early tend to also be more reliable and offer better resale value. Crucially, the tech inside the car can significantly vary from one brand to another. In this video, we will list some of the best luxury SUVs available today. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. The 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLE. The new Mercedes-Benz GLE updated for 2020 is the best all-round luxury SUV. Its build quality is exceptional. It comes with the most advanced infotainment system with MBUX, and its overall look and design are superb. All of that for a retail price that's a great value. Inside, the seats are supremely comfortable. The dash materials are pleasing, even the wood. The armrest storage cubby is generous, as is the glove box and door bins. The GLE also majors on tech with a fleet of driver aids ready to intervene if you wander over the white lanes, reverse unthinkingly from your parking space, or drift towards the car dwelling in your blind spot. The Hey Mercedes Siri-like voice assistant is always listening, and the optional extras are mainly grouped into conveniently pickable packages. Under the hood, you have 3 engine options to choose from. The GLE 350 comes standard with a turbocharged 4-cylinder. Don't be fooled by its small size though. This 255 horsepower engine packs plenty of punch and can scoot the SUV from 0 to 60 in just over 7 seconds. Drivers in need for a little more oomph can opt for the GLE 450 or 580 models instead. The GLE 450's turbo 6-cylinder has 362 horsepower with a 0 to 60 time of 5.9 seconds, while the GLE 580's twin-turbo V8 packs 483 horsepower with a 0 to 60 time of 4.9 seconds. The 2020 BMW X5. The BMW X5 is arguably the car that launched the high-end SUV trend when it first appeared on the road 20 years ago. Now in its 4th generation, the X5 continues to build on a brilliant heritage to deliver an exceptional driving experience and a refined look. Inside, the X5's dash is all about acute angles. It's less austere than it has been typical from BMW, boasting an elegant design with high-end materials that de-emphasize buttons for large surfaces of wood, huge displays, and interestingly shaped center air vents. Overall, the fundamentals are strong. Great seats, ideal driving position, and a solid feel to the way the major controls work. The 2020 X5 is also a technology tour de force, boasting nearly every infotainment goodie in BMW's bag, plus standard collision avoidance features and advanced driver assistance technology. The Mercedes GLE is still the high-tech master of this class, but the new X5 isn't far behind. As it's always been, it's a must-drive for anyone seeking one of the finest 5-passenger luxury SUVs. Under the hood is a standard 335 horsepower, 3.0-liter turbo 6-cylinder, an 8-speed automatic transmission, and the choice of rear-wheel or all-wheel drive. For most shoppers, this 40i engine will provide more than enough muscle for everyday driving, and it's responsive with a 0 to 60 in less than 6 seconds. The transmission is refined as well with quick and smooth shifts. If you are looking for the most engaging practical SUV to drive, then this is the one for you. The 2020 Porsche Macan. The Macan has become the best-selling model for Porsche in recent years, and it's no surprise. In its 2nd generation, it brings the driving performance you would expect from a Porsche, but in the comfort and luxury of an SUV. While it's one of the most expensive mid-size luxury SUVs on the market, with prices rapidly climbing as you add up options, the Macan brings unmatched driving sensations to the SUV segment. Inside the car, the massive 11-inch touchscreen takes center stage. The redesigned air vents have been moved below the screen, and new for the Macan is an option for the GT Sport steering wheel, akin to that in the 911. Overall, the quality of the interior is second to none. In terms of driving technology, the Macan's facelift provided an opportunity to include more driver assistance systems, such as traffic jam assist as part of the adaptive cruise control system. This partially automates braking and acceleration, but also provides steering assist in slow-moving traffic. You have 3 choices for what goes under the hood of the 2020 Macan. Standard is a turbo 4-cylinder that puts out 248 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. It has more than enough pep for daily driving and never feels underpowered. Next in the lineup is the Macan S and its 3.0-liter turbo V6 engine, which is good for 348 horsepower and 354 pound-feet of torque. Or even an all-new 2.9-liter twin-turbo V6 that produces 434 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. All of the Macan's engines are mated to a 7-speed automatic transmission, but regardless of whichever one you choose, you will be satisfied. The 2020 Audi Q8. The Audi Q8 is the top of the range in Audi's luxury SUV collection. It's using the same platform as the Lamborghini Urus, but delivers a much more reasonable package for a better price as well. It doesn't mean that the Q8 is bland, however. Inside, you will find one of the most avant-garde infotainments in the industry. It comes with 3 large displays to control everything in the car in glorious high definition. The seats are excellent front and rear. There is acres of space in the back and a decent boot, though the volume is slimmed slightly by the aggressive slope in back. The rear seats split too, so there is every possibility that you can actually make use of the space to do practical things. Yes, the Q7 is bigger and has 7 seats, but you don't buy a Q8 for that. It's just more practical and useful than you might think at a first glance. The Q8 is powered by a 335 horsepower 3.0-liter turbocharged V6 engine. An 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive are standard. Step on the gas and this V6 shuttles the Q8 up to 60 miles per hour swiftly in under 6 seconds, with ample passing power at highway speeds as well. All of this is largely because of the transmission's smooth and well-timed gear changes. Throttle response can be slow while driving at low speeds, but shifting to the Q8's dynamic mode fixes this issue. The 2020 Range Rover Velar. The Velar won multiple design prizes for its elegant while robust look. Land Rover successfully injected elements of its heritage in the design while taking a bold direction towards the future. Simply stunning, it sets a new benchmark for design of a modern SUV. Few would deny that it's one of the best looking, if not number one. If the Velar's exterior represents a narrowed focus, its cabin takes an opposing path, emphasizing clean lines, colors, and detailed work. Sleekly modern, it's one of Range Rover's prime examples of interior opulence. Leather covers most of the Velar seats. Brushed aluminum accents and leather-covered upper dashboard add to the premium feel. The base model uses synthetic leather and suede, but every Velar feels expensive. It's also a tech head, with the central console holding twin-inch infotainment touchscreens, while upper trim levels add a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster. The infotainment system not only looks great, it responds well enough and supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto standard. Front seats promise comfort during the longest drives. Rear seats are reasonably comfortable for most drivers, but short on legroom for taller passengers. The 2020 Velar is offered with 4 engine options. These include a turbo 4-cylinder with 250 horsepower, a supercharged V6 with 340 or 380 horsepower variants, and a supercharged V8 with 550 horsepower. Each is paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission and 4-wheel drive. Its ride is very Range Rover-like, as in to say, comfortable. While steering is accurate and confident, it provides limited feel through the steering wheel. But then again, that's why you get a Porsche or BMW for. The 2020 Volvo XC60. Swedish car manufacturer Volvo has been upping its game over the past few years, delivering more and more luxurious models at very attractive price points. The XC60 doesn't have the tall and steep lines of the bigger XC90 wagon. It's smoother with a high grille and tall taillights. The sharp grille is framed by thin hammer-shaped headlamps called Thor's hammers. Minimalist is the word you'd use to describe the interior. The simple driftwood strip on the dash oozes calm. The instrument panel isn't cluttered with buttons and knobs, while a portrait-style 9-inch touchscreen is planted in the dash featuring Volvo's infotainment system, which is one of the best on the market, with vertical orientation, easy-to-follow menus, and embedded Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. Seating is also a high point. The front seats are comfortable, not bulky, and look good in leather. The rear seats can be heated and offer good legroom for a comfortable ride, though 3 might be a squeeze. You have 4 options when it comes to the XC60's powertrain. The T5 comes with a 250 horsepower turbo 4-cylinder engine, and the 316 horsepower turbo and supercharged 4-cylinder comes standard in the T6. With the T8, you get 400 horsepower plug-in hybrid powertrain, combining the T6 powertrain with an electric motor. The new for 2020 Polestar engineered trim has a 415 horsepower version of the T8's powertrain. The 2020 Lexus RX 350. The RX was a groundbreaker for Lexus with its edgy and aggressive looks. It's sharp and sleek, with a touch of anger in its face from the spindle grille. From nose to tail, the RX shows off its angles under a floating roof, and the F-Sport trim lends even more edge with the aero tweaks and cladding on the lower body. The cabin is more conservative, but still intriguing. A swoopy center console curves towards the driver and carries an optional massive infotainment screen. It gets high marks for almost everything in the cabin: comfort, space, silence, and fit and finish. The soft front seats stay comfortable for hours. Luxury models have 10-way power adjustment, cooling, heat, and extendable thigh cushions. Second-row passengers can lay back in their reclining seats with a fold-down armrest and stretch out with plenty of legroom. The hybrid's battery pack is located under the rear seat and raises it by 1 inch, so that model might trim headroom for taller passengers. Under the hood of every RX 350 is a 3.5-liter V6 engine that makes 295 horsepower and 268 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. The engine produces ample power for most driving situations, and the smooth shifting automatic transmission is responsive. So, what do you think of this list? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications for latest car reviews and news. Take care, and see you in the next one.